clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Or prepare to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speak. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah, it's Survivor Speaks and it's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Peace, peace, peace. This video is being shown to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. Hey! What's up? It is your favorite breast cancer survivor speaks, and I'm back with a quick live stream regarding Na'Ziyah Harris. So I just was over here. I was trying to find no one's music. I normally put no one's music behind the video, but I'm using my new system, and I can't. This was a quick setup because all things Na'Ziyah Harris, I will be, covering them if it's something that is new, in between, what I currently have going on. Shout out to everyone that, asked about my mother, sends well wishes to my mother. I do appreciate you all. As I stated, shout out to you for being here. I see we have 3 people watching. Shout out to all 3 of you. Thank you so much. If you would be so kindly, I see that all 3 of you have liked the video, and I do appreciate that. So welcome. I'm just gonna wait a couple more minutes because normally I am late. So shout out to the creator of the beat behind the music, and the engineer and the producer, Mook Marv Music Inc. If you like to work with him, you can just type his name in and reach out to him yourself. But shout out to him. As I stated, I'm trying to upload. I gotta upload no one's track to the new system because I don't. I'm actually used to it, and I like it better for behind my music. Other track is fire, so this is what it is. This is actually my own instrumental. Produced, engineer, like I said, and created by Mook Marv Music Inc. So waiting for, I'll say we have 4 people here, so let's go ahead and get started. I am not going to be here long. As I stated before, thank you for all the well wishes for my mother. She's coming along quite nicely, and thank you. And you guys know, thank you for not asking what happened and all this other stuff, just sending out your well wishes. I greatly appreciate it. So we all know the story about Na'Ziyah Harris. We all know that she was unalived by Jarvis Butts, and they have the trial starting in October 6th of 2025. We already had the preliminary hearing, and the judge already ruled that they had enough evidence to bring this thing to trial. So October 6th is going to start the jury selection and also the trial. So, but we're going to learn more. They still have another date for a final conference, and that's going to be on June 20th. As we know, they did not live stream the last conference, and so we did not get to view it. But of course, we do know that there are 40 people testifying in the new trial. Now, is it 40 additional people testifying from what we had in the preliminary? It could be a combination of the two. I'm not making up anything to sensationalize anything or, you know, for a click and a view. None of that. I'm just basically going off of fact. So let me tell you what today's video is about. So in 2022, Na'Ziyah Harris' case was shockingly ignored by a Detroit police department, even though there were clear leads on her alleged Unaliver, Red Rummer, however you want to call them, just on YouTube. You can't say the real words that are in the dictionary that they made up for us to use that, you know, to call a thing. We can't. So why was this case never investigated? So in this video, we uncovered the disturbing details, the failures of the system, and demand justice for Na'Ziyah Harris. So share the story out, hit the like button. You know, her voice deserves to be heard. Even though she's no longer with us, we are her voice. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence, make sure that we continue to bring awareness to the story and that Na'Ziyah Harris gets justice and quiet the noise, you know, coming from the battling of, you know, the family members online. So I did see something where Shannon Harris is speaking out again. That's unfortunate. I haven't looked into that yet, but I will. So right now I'm going to focus on the fact that the Detroit Police Department was made aware of this case, and that this is another thing that's being brought to us to let us know that, as Janelle and Kiwana stated, they made this known and nothing was done about it. And so now we have not only an unalived child, but an unalived child with child. All right. I do believe that the unalived child, he should be charged with that unaliving of the child as well, because Na'Ziyah was definitely about 5 or 6 months. If you've seen the last TikTok video that she made, Ray Charles from Heaven can see that she was with child. So, and the text messages that we're going to Rebecca Cry, I know we're going to go over those text messages, but as you know, I found that case about and you know, the young man that was unalived, and it's such a interesting case that we have been going over that case, and that the retrial for that case is also starting in October of 2025. So Survivor Speakers may need to do a twofer, because I would live stream the Na'Ziyah Harris case and probably cover that case like in the evening, just the rewatch of the day's trial, because that case is a steamy one. So let's get right into why we came here. I said I'm not going to be here for long. I do have some other things that I'm working on. So now when I bring up the other video, let me see what mode I am so I could set this on up. All right, so when I bring up the other video, do know that I cut out.
Did Detroit police miss a chance to save the life of Na'Ziyah Harris? Records uncovered by the 7 investigators tonight show that they did.
Nearly 2 years before Na'Ziyah went missing, police...
Okay. So do know that I probably cut out the first portion of it because their music is playing and I don't want the video to be stricken. So I'll tell you exactly what they said before I bring that video down. So they just said new evidence has been found in the Na'Ziyah Harris case. Okay, so I had to cut that part out because I did not want to be struck down. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Everyone seems to be in the bushes, which is fine with me. Hello to all of you. As long as you're hitting that like button, then you're all right. Ooh. Excuse me, you're hitting the like button, then you're all right with me, and that's fine. I know Rebecca Cry probably will see that I'm live, and she'll come over and she'll definitely be in the chat. And Nessa C, I'm not sure where she is right now. And anybody else that joins in that hasn't been here in a while. You know, I like to speak to everybody personally, but if I don't know that you're in the bushes, I cannot say hi. So hello to all of you. All right, and so shout out to anybody on X or Twitter that is watching. I do appreciate you all as well. Thank you so much for coming. So without further ado, I'm going to bring down the video. And as I stated, I've already explained the first part of it is kind of clipped out because of their music. So here we go. I'll bring it down and then we'll start it. All right, so let's play it. You guys, nobody is in the chat chatting, so if somebody would be brave enough to jump out the bushes and put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the video when I start playing it. I would hate to start playing it and you guys can't hear it. As a matter of fact, I'll check it out. Just give me a moment. I don't want to hit play yet because if I have to adjust something. Hold on. So this is why. Can we unmute this and mute this? All right. I hope you guys can still hear me. I just had to make a switch over. So let me see. I'm gonna go over here and I'll check it myself. Hold on. Check it myself. Okay. So you guys can hear. I can hear, so you guys can hear. So let's start the video. Oh, and just to let you know, you guys know I have not been live. So for the last, I haven't been going live like, not like normal. So I do have my information on the screen. Donations are not mandatory, but they are welcome. And shout out to, I'm just going to call him JJ or JS for the Cash App. He's not here, but you know, when people send donations, you don't want to put their name out there because like people like to you know, for some reason reach out to folks. So shout out to JS for that Cash App. He wasn't here before, but I'm not sure if he is if he'll stop by, but I will not be saying anyone's name that sends a Cash App because unless they tell me it's okay to, but other than that I won't. So thanks to him for that. And that was before I did my last live. He sent a Cash App, but I'm gonna say it in this live. All right, so let's go.
Investigators tonight show that they did.
Nearly 2 years before Na'Ziyah went missing, police received a warning involving the man now accused in her murder.
And tonight, DPD says they messed up. 7 investigator Ross Jones reveals what went wrong and what's changed as a result.
Mr. Butts targeted and befriended women who had to have sexual relationships with their young daughters. He was a classic and expert groomer and pedophile.
On the same day, Jarvis Butts would be accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Na'Ziyah Harris, police and prosecutors urged the community to protect its children at all costs.
But when it comes to our children, we must be deliberative, we must be diligent, and laser focused on their safety.
We make strong and good decisions for our children, keep them out of harm's way.
But more than 20 months before Harris ever went missing, Detroit police had been warned that she'd been victimized by Jarvis Butts and failed to ever investigate.
There was enough for the department to ask about Na'Ziyah.
Yeah, we could have done better. No question.
Last month, we showed you that Jarvis Butts had been the subject of multiple complaints to Children's Protective Services, including at least one that named Na'Ziyah Harris as a victim. What we did not know at the time is that CPS wasn't the only agency who'd been warned. In April of 2022, in response to a complaint CPS had received, workers there submitted a law enforcement notification, or LEN, to Detroit police. It's an alert to possible criminal behavior that may warrant a police investigation. In this case, the complaint told DPD that there was an incident at a birthday party where a child accused Butts of sexual abuse. Na'Ziyah, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched them inappropriately as well. It read, "Jarvis is a sex offender and a felon." Na'Ziyah's great-aunt, Jernell, says she filed that complaint with CPS that ultimately made its way to DPD.
They're the police, they're supposed to investigate. I mean, it had all the everything is there.
But the department never did investigate, at least with respect to Na'Ziyah. Instead, according to officials, only the other alleged victim named in the report was questioned because CPS only listed her under the victim header, even though Na'Ziyah was identified as an abuse victim too.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, makes zero sense. Either they didn't read it or they didn't comprehend it. That's my opinion.
Tom Berry is a retired Detroit police lieutenant who reviewed the report that bears Na'Ziyah's name.
How many victims do you see identified there?
I see 2 for sure, maybe 3. Somebody dropped the ball. It's pretty clear by reading that there's at least 2 allegations of sexual assault there.
Her name was right in the report. At a minimum, the department should reach out to her and at least ask if something happened. But that didn't happen.
It did not.
Today, Assistant Chief Charles Fitzgerald makes no excuses, saying much has changed with how the department handles the more than 5,000 LEN reports it receives every year. Unlike when the Na'Ziyah complaint came through, he says DPD now interviews everyone identified inside, regardless of whether they're listed under the victim header. Complaints are triaged and are assigned quickly, and missing information, like in this case, Na'Ziyah's last name, is ferreted out by investigators.
It's a horrible excuse. We still should have done what we should have done.
The fact that they acknowledge it shouldn't have worked this way, and it took for something so tragic to happen to her, you're damn right it shouldn't have worked that way. They should have did their job.
Kiwana Morton is one of Na'Ziyah's relatives who says she filed complaints with CPS too. She wonders tonight if the 13-year-old's fate might have been different had police ever bothered to reach out.
Somebody has to answer for that. They absolutely do. CPS and DPD.
I think the obvious question that a case like this begs is how many other victims or alleged victims in reports like this were named but never contacted by DPD.
Yeah, prior to the recent process, I don't know. I would hate to speculate even.
Do you worry that there are other cases like this?
Of course, yeah, for sure.
I don't think it stopped at one child sliding through the crack. They clearly weren't doing their jobs.
We don't know, of course, what Na'Ziyah might have said to police if she'd been interviewed. The other alleged victim who was questioned made no disclosures of abuse. Jarvis Butts denied he touched anyone when questioned by police, and he has maintained his innocence since being charged. But by not asking the question, you know she couldn't possibly have said something was going on, and that's what haunts the family and will haunt the family, I think, for a very long time.
Well, of course, trust's so hard when the system fails you, you know.
And to see their names in a report 2 years earlier is frightening.
And if they're saying that procedures have changed, certainly our hope is that fewer people will fall through any cracks. All right.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
All right, so there you have it. That is disturbing to say the least. It's sad. It's sad to hear that. Now, what I do want to say is, shout out to Lynette Johnson for, coming and jumping out of the bushes. Now, it is her belief. Now hold on. Let me see if we can add this. Let me just move my comment. Now, what Lynette Johnson says she believes, she says, who? Shannon? She is the one who I think unalived her. I don't think that Shannon unalived her. I think that Shannon could have possibly, allegedly, had some knowledge about her unaliving. But as far as Harris, her unaliving her, I don't think that was the case. I think she may have some type of knowledge. She knew that. You can't tell me that she didn't know that the abuse was going on, her and her mother. I strongly believe that. I have a petition out about that. It will come out in the wash because of the they have. I don't know if they understand that they still have to get back on the stand during trial. Either that or risk whatever. So, as I stated, this is my belief, survivor speaks belief. They did not know, because they are people that are coming forth to testify, hoping to clear their own names. I have, some other people watching. I would love it if you would hit the like button. That would, just to get to, a way to support the show for the free $99 and get the, so that the video gets out into the algorithm. So what I was saying was, I do believe that the police, the investigators withheld the fact that they were able to get Na'Ziyah's text messages from Shannon Harris and her mother Annette. So when they got on the stand, they thought they had everything all wrapped up in a pretty box. They put a bow on it, the highest that they thought that they could purchase in their minds, and then bam, the text messages come out. And then everything you said on the stand, which we could see, like I said, Ray Charles could see from heaven, Stevie Wonder can see from where he is at, that you guys were lying. So now you perjured yourself on the stand. And then you have the nerve, like, and a lot of people are making excuses. Oh, Shannon, they were abused, and I get it. But the thing is, once somebody starts doing stuff to cover their tracks, once somebody is saying that it's wrong, Jarvis told Shannon prior to getting into a relationship that he was on the PDF registry. If YouTube doesn't allow us to say that other word, so I call it, and a lot of other content creators call it PDF, right? So if we're paying attention, because like I said, and I have been saying, CPS failed her, law enforcement failed her, the majority of her family members failed her and continue to fail her. Every day that, one of her family members goes online swinging and making this story about her, you are failing Na'Ziyah Harris. We don't need you to tell us. We are already invested. We don't need you to make a documentary. We don't need you to come out and say anything else. So, and not to say who said first or who did what first. Janelle and Kiwana, it has been brought to everyone's attention that they had reported this thing. And so, kudos for coming on board. But now is not the time to be online fighting about yourself. This is not about you. The justice is not for you. The justice is for Na'Ziyah Harris. And that's what we all want across the board. Nobody needs to do anything else to really argue the point about who did what. No, the truth of the matter is they did make reports and they were ignored. And one made a report, it was ignored, the other one made a report. Okay, and so all of the other things that came afterwards, kudos to that, but then there were a lot of false videos put out here. You will not hear that information on my channel. I will not play those videos on my channel. I will not be playing a video of them saying, oh, that's Na'Ziyah in the basement, and you hear somebody saying, I'm down here. No, it was two sisters in the house having a conversation amongst each other. One was in the basement, the other one was upstairs. She was asking her sister at the same time that they were looking for Na'Ziyah, where are you? She said, I'm in the basement. That has already been debunked, that was Na'Ziyah in the basement. That video should have never come out. The person that was behind the video knows the video should not have came out. So you put it out here, and content creators, what do? That are reporting on true crime or invested in the story, have the right to report on it. But it already was released and it's false. But some content creators know that it was false, and to get a click and a view, they'll still put it out there anyway. I'm not putting that out here because that's not what it's about. It is about Na'Ziyah Harris at the end of the day. It is about those children at the end of the day. Those children need to be removed from the home of Annette and Shannon Harris, period. And also Marquita's children need to be removed from her as well. That's Shannon Harris's twin sister. Those children need to be removed immediately. They should have been removed, because if you listen to the text messages, and everybody, just to clarify it one more time, the 9-year-old that testified in the preliminary hearing was not Shannon Harris's daughter. That was Marquita Harris's daughter, her twin, and she does not live with her mother. She is with her father. He was at that court hearing. They put him out the court because he did not know that Jarvis Butts tried his baby. They did not know. He did not know. So he was getting ready to wreck shop. That's not something that I got from a video or anything like that. He followed me on Instagram. I had a brief inbox conversation, with him to tell his baby she is a hero in this case. They never mentioned her name. They never said any of that. And when I spoke to him briefly, I didn't ask him his daughter's name. I basically just told him, I said, tell your daughter she's a hero. She's a brave little girl for speaking up for Na'Ziyah Harris. And that's it, and that's all. And so at the end of the day, stop it with that was Shannon Harris's daughter on the stand. No, it wasn't. It was her twin sister's daughter, Marquita Harris, who does not have custody of her. That's the last time to say that. So Lynette Johnson was really I think we could say homicide. So let's see, Lynette. Let me move my name on out the way. She was really harmed. She is covering up something who they want. I don't think they're doing their job, my opinion. I don't think that they're really giving us any information, Lynette, about what they have. I don't think they're giving us any information about the evidence and stuff that they do have or where they're planning to go. I don't think that they're giving us that. I just think that because we don't know because if Shannon Harris and them come into the courtroom and get on the stand, and now they need to change their stories because they perjured themselves during the preliminary hearing, that will bolster the charges that they may bring against them. We don't know yet. So that could be a thing too. I just like to look at things from both sides of the coin. If Shannon Harris does say something, I will mention it and say something about it. But I don't think that they are, because the investigators did not let them know what was going on for the preliminary case. They didn't know everything. They didn't. They kind of sprung it on them, and they were like, because it would have hindered their case, and they didn't want that, because the preliminary hearing was to confirm whether or not they had enough evidence to bring this to trial. So, I agree with you. They should have been, those children should have been removed a long time ago. I haven't looked to see, because somebody reported here that on YouTube the children were removed. No, they were not. So, and according to what Annette Harris's daughter is saying, Na'Ziyah Harris's mother lady, this is alleged, but she said it, that Annette is not even supposed to have children in her custody. So they have 40 new witnesses coming forward, so Jarvis will spend the rest of his life in prison. It's just, I want to know who else is going. And I do think who else is going. I saw you say going. And I do think that, so 40 new witnesses, Are they all victims? I don't believe so. I don't want to put that false narrative out here either that 40 new victims came along, because someone in the family did come out, you know, crying teary-eyed on the video talking about his 40 new victims, and that's what she was trying to do, get the victims to come out here and speak. That's a lie. They didn't say 40 new victims. They said, and I didn't even, you know, I didn't know if it was 40 additional victims or they were adding to what they already had, because those people that testified in the preliminary hearing will be testifying again in this case, especially Annette and Shannon Harris. Now, if they refuse, then that just gives them, they can just go right on ahead and do what they need to do. But, you know, Shannon Harris has said some really, really nasty things on this during this, after the preliminary hearing. And either way you look at it, it is what it is. Now, the question is Marquita Harris's boyfriend on that list? Because if Marquita Harris's boyfriend is on that list, whoa boy. Now that interview is here on my page. And regardless to how it happened or why it happened, or it happened. And he called them people to his house because Shannon Harris was hiding out over there. And he also told what was going on while she was hiding out over there, and how her and her twin sister would be in a room talking. He'd walk into a room and they shut up. They were always whispering. He didn't want them there. Now the question is, I haven't gone back to look to see, has he moved on? Has he left? After he blew the dog whistle, did he leave? I have not checked back on that. For those of you that know that I'm, you know, dealing with this, you know, a personal emergency in my own life. And so, but this case is very important to me. And so whenever something comes out, regardless of whether it's, I'm not trying to be the first one to run and put it out. I just want to say my piece on it, and make sure that I'm bringing awareness to the people that support me and the people that watch my channel, that this is something that came out. This is an additional piece to this story, and it should not happen to anybody, any children, in any case. It is wrong. And so I just wanted to make sure that I, you know, brought this out to you guys to make you aware that, yeah, there was a report that was filed, and they never, because they didn't know Na'Ziyah's last name, like, you ask questions. You go to the house where this is, and you do, I don't understand how that just became a practice, that you go and you question everybody that's on the report. I worked in law enforcement, not as a police officer, but as a correction officer. It's all the freaking same. You get the same, you know, have the same things that they do. And even in an investigation inside of a jail, you know, when we have like something happen, two people was fighting, we want to get to the bottom of the story. So wait a minute, how did this start? Do you know anybody that started? We're pulling people out that were close to that, and we're doing like an internal investigation ourselves. We need to know, does anybody else need to go to the hole? Okay, so how did this start? Okay, they was arguing over cookies. All right. So Jane and Jane and Mary was arguing over cookies. All right. So how did Frida get involved? Because Frida is the one that fought Jane. Well, what Frida called her was Jane's partner or girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, and you know, Jane. Well, how did Frida get involved? Because Frida was Jane's girlfriend. So Frida didn't want Jane fighting anyone, so she approached Mary. And there you go. She approached Mary. Mary didn't like the fact that she approached her about the argument that her and Jane had over cookies, so they started fist fighting. All right, so they just had a verbal altercation, but because Frida got involved because she called herself dating Jane, and so she went in turn approached Mary, and it went down. So guess what? Jane is not going to go to the hole. She's going to do 4 hours in her cell for being in a verbal altercation with Mary over the cookies, but Frida and Mary is going to the whole pending further investigation from the sergeant and the lieutenant that is over the investigations. So now I'm writing a white sheet on Jane for arguing verbally with Mary. Nobody needs to investigate that. That just needs to be filed. She's going to be in her cell for 4 hours because they were out 4 hours a day. So 1 officer to 48, 2 to 96. So what we would do is the bottom half will come out in the AM. The first half of the AM, everybody locked in count. Then the top half will come out for the second half of the AM. Everybody locked in count. We switch shifts. The bottom come out. In the morning, they switch. Whoever was out at the bottom, now in the morning, you're in. But everybody comes out to eat at child time. So that's how it works. So now Jane is going to give me 4 hours. The next time it's time for her people to come out. You're gonna give me 4 hours. You don't get to do 4 hours when everybody on your level is locked in. You're gonna do 4 hours of when it's time for you to be out. You have the access to walk out of your room and mingle with the people. You're gonna give me 4 hours. But Frida and Mary, they ain't handcuffs. Don't worry about it. We get your stuff packed up. Go on down to the hole immediately, and you'll be hearing from the sergeant and the lieutenant. And they have a whole committee that comes up and says whether they're guilty or not. 3-person committee. So the sergeant and the lieutenant come up and investigate it. Then they have the discipline committee come up. They get to come in and state their case. They read to them most of this. This is what happened. This is a report. What do you have to say? And they get to okay, you're gonna do the 30 days, or all right, we're gonna just this time served for this. They may say because Frida is the one that approached Mary, she may get 30 days and Mary may get 15. It really is a system within the system. Well, that's how we worked at the jail that I worked at. And even I worked at the county and the state level. So when I went to the state level, it wasn't much difference. But in the county, I worked with male and females. In the state level, I worked with females only. I went to a female prison. I need a mixture. Y'all either transfer me out. Listen, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, for a whole nother day. But I don't think that they're telling them everything. And they're going to let them perjure themselves on the stand. But based on the evidence that they do have already, and based on the fact that Na'Ziyah is unalived, and based on the fact unalived with child, all of those things are emergency circumstances to remove all of these children out of that home. That is what CPS was created for, to protect children. Law enforcement are also supposed to protect children. And when they get a call, they're supposed to get CPS involved. We know that CPS is understaffed, underpaid, and they need to do something about that. But if what is being said that, right now we have administration that care about the children and all this other stuff. Come on. Then that should be one of your first priorities. If you look around every day, you have parents unaliving children, PDFs doing all sorts of things to children, including unaliving them, impregnating them, trying to get out of jail, out of these charges on technicalities and stuff like that. It's time to stand up for real victims and stop playing into these people that are perpetrating being victims, making up all these outlandish stories, getting all of this financial support. And to find out now, if you go look for them now, unless they started a new page right now because they have been exposed, you haven't really heard too much of them in about a couple of weeks. I don't report on that on my channel, but I do like I enjoyed like kind of keeping up with what something, you know, the things that have been going on and how they have been exposing this person for the outlandish stories that she has been telling, to include all of these celebrities, all of the presidents, all of them, all of their children done touched her. Everybody, she wasn't even born. If you listen to some of her stories and the stories that she's telling, she wasn't even born yet. She was still living with her parents. And people done gave all this money, and then there's the narrative that is being spun. Oh, I don't want any money. I'm not asking any money. She don't have to ask y'all for no money. You know why? Because she got a whole non-profit. The name she's under is a name that she copyright. It is not even her name. It is a business name that she got from someone else that is a... She is an established author, but this fool done took the name and they had the name copyrighted, and so she goes by this moniker. But when they started digging, this is not the only name that she has been under. She dances under another name. She's been in the same place all this time. She said she was running. I've been to Russia. They trafficked me to Russia. They did this. They did everybody down to who a daggone daddy is a lie. So y'all just keep giving her your money if you want. And I don't say her name over here because she will not get any airplay over here in that way. But shout out to the people that have been looking into her, and she has been right in the same place the whole time, right where her mama lives. Not too far from her mama. And it's sad, but it's true. And I always knew when I first saw the first bit, I said, wait a minute, hold on now. I don't like the victim bash, because there are some people that have been through some horrible things. But this is next level. You got a whole army of fools, chow. Meanwhile, we're fighting for people like Na'Ziyah. We're fighting for someone, well, she's been convicted. I don't think she got enough time for Emily Boswell, whose mother unalived her and put her in the garbage. It's a whole list of people that we're fighting for. Still fighting for. So if you are a member here, you get to take advantage of the channel emojis. I do have a Na'Ziyah Harris emoji that I just dropped down in the chat. You can see it on the YouTube platform here, and you can become a member by let me just drop the link. It's totally up to you, or you can hit the like button for the free 99, and I will be grateful for that. If you want to contact me, I'm going to drop my email down in the chat. If you have any ideas, do you have anything that you want to say? Let me just give you the heads up. I answer my email, but at this moment I am like really, really I'm busy. Okay, so if you want to join the membership, here is the link. All right, so let me just see what Lynette Johnson. Do you believe we have alligators in Detroit? I myself don't. I don't know how you going. You have a beautiful background. It's so pretty in there. Yes, thank you so much, Lynette. Everything is pink. I'm a breast cancer survivor, so my studio, people ask me, is that is that like a green screen? No, it's actually my studio. So I'm a breast cancer survivor. I just did some little tweaks to the studio, very minor. So yeah, it is. Thank you so much. It is my studio, my office, my Zen space. And so I do take pride in that. Thank you so much. So I did just drop the links if you have an email and you want to email me. If you have any ideas or any questions, you could just email me there. And just to let you know, like I said, I'm doing 1,000 things right now. I do need to check my email because I believe my Allie, she's not here now. She was going to send me an email about something. I need to check that. And then, yeah, you can do that. And then also, once you hit that like bell, make sure you turn on all your notifications to all. To be sure that you get a notification when I do go live. If you're not getting live notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe. There is a lot of YouTubers across the platform that are having the same issues and are getting the same complaint. So I end my shows the same way. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, I was not going to be here too long, but I do end my shows the same way by telling you that men get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma behind the word breast, we have changed the word to peck and or chest cancer over here on the Survivor channel, Survivor Speaks channel. So let's continue to break the stigma and bring awareness that men get breast cancer too. And to my ladies, oh shit, oh shit. Please make sure that you are getting your mammograms, that you are filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disrupt the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys in the next video or the next video upload. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and share it out to everyone. Peace.
Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a thief in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. This is how if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Hold it clear to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speaks. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button. And turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.